So hello everyone, in this video we'll do the daily current affairs analysis of 12th January 2022. So the first topic which we'll discuss is about the Makar Sankranti. So it is a Hindu feast day named after the Hindu god Surya. It is observed in accordance with the solar cycles. It is usually held in January 14th or a day before or after. In certain areas, celebrations might last up to 4 days and include a wide range of customs. It is the first day of the sun's transit into Makar, Capricorn, signaling the end of the month with the winter solstice and the beginning of longer days. Posh, the unlucky period of the previous month, comes to an end. This is an opportunity to recognize the dedication of millions of our farmers and citizens across the country. So, different names include Pongal in Tamil Nadu, Uttarayan in Gujarat, Assam's Bhagli Bihu, Punjab and Jammu celebrate Lohri, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh have Maghi, in Karnataka, Makar Sankramana is celebrated, Kashmir's Sankranti, Madhya Pradesh's Sukarat, parts of Bihar, Jharkhand, and Uttar Pradesh have Khichdi Parv. The source of this news is The Hindu of 12th January 2022, page number 6. So the next topic in news is details of the Mulla Periyar dam issue. So the context: in the midst of a severe rain in Kerala, the Supreme Court has ordered the supervisory committee to make an expedient and firm decision on the maximum water level that can be maintained at the Mullaperiyar Dam. So in 2014, the Supreme Court established a permanent supervisory committee to oversee all matters relating to the Mullaperiyar Dam. The dam has caused a squabble between Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So what exactly is the problem? Kerala said the water level should not rise above 139 feet, which is the same limit set by the court on August 24, 2018 when the state was flooded, because if the dam's water level is raised, the lives of 50 lakh people will be jeopardized. Tamil Nadu, on the other hand, protested to the order, citing Supreme Court decisions from 2006 and 2014 that set the maximum water level at 142 feet. So what's next? The court ordered Kerala and Tamil Nadu officials to communicate appropriately and avoid putting lives in danger. The court also said emphatically that this was not a political issue. So what do you need to know about the Mullaperiyar Dam? Although the dam is located in Kerala, it is operated by Tamil Nadu via a 999-year lease agreement made in 1886 between the Maharaja of Travancore and the Secretary of State for India for the Periyar irrigation works. The Periyar Lake Lease Agreement, the dam, which was built between 1887 and 1895, redirected the river's flow to the Bay of Bengal rather than the Arabian Sea, providing water to the parched rain region of Madurai in Madras Presidency. In Kerala's Idukki district, the dam is built at the junction of the Mullaperiyar and Periyar rivers. So, what does Tamil Nadu have to say about it? Despite taking steps to fortify the dam, Tamil Nadu argues that the Kerala government has prevented any move to boost the reservoir water level, causing losses to Madurai farmers. So Kerala's reasons are as follows. Residents in the earthquake-prone district of Idukki in Kerala, on the other hand, are concerned about disaster. Scientists have said that if the region has an earthquake with a magnitude greater than 6 on the Richter scale, the lives of over 3 million people will be jeopardized. So the source of this news is The Hindu of 12th January 2022, page number 1. So the next topic in news is about the Petta Thullal dance. So it is from Indian culture. So the Kerala State Pollution Board recently proposed banning chemical-based colors used during the Petta Thullal ritual. The inclusion of toxic metals in the ritual's colors, including lead, arsenic and cadmium, causes skin irritation as well as pollution of the water and soil. It has been suggested that an organic vermilion be used to reduce the environmental impact. Vermilion is a red pigment that was initially manufactured from powdered cinnabar. Petta Thullal is a traditional religious dance performed to commemorate Lord Ayyappa's victory over evil. It also marks the start of the final leg of Kerala's yearly Sabrimala pilgrimage season. So the source of this news is The Hindu of 12th January 2022, page number 7. So the next topic in news is details of the Central Vista project. So in 2019, the Union Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs proposed a renovation proposal for the Central Vista. The plan calls for the construction of a triangular parliament building adjacent to the current one, creating a central secretariat for the common good. The 3-kilometer long Rajpath between Rashtrapati Bhavan and India Gate is also being remodeled. The north and south blocks will be turned into museums. So the government's case for redeveloping Central Vista is as follows. The amenities and infrastructure of the Parliament building are insufficient to satisfy current demand. The central government's offices are dispersed around the country, causing interdepartmental coordination issues and unnecessary travel, which contributes to the congestion and pollution. The majority of the existing structures have reached the end of their useful lives. About the Lutyens zone, in December 1911, King George V announced in the Delhi Darbar Grand Assembly that India's capital will be relocated from Calcutta to Delhi. The Delhi Darbar was held to commemorate King George V's coronation. Edwin Lutyens, noted for his strong dedication to European classicism, and Herbert Baker, a prominent architect in South Africa, were tasked with designing a new city. The Union buildings in Pretoria, South Africa, were also designed by Herbert Baker. Lutyens and Baker collaborated on the design of Parliament House. Edwin Lutyens designed Rashtrapati Bhavan. Herbert Baker designed the Secretariat, which contains both the north and south blocks. So the source of this news is The Hindu of 12th January 2022, page number 1. So the next topic in news is about the BrahMos missile. So it is a prelim specific topic. So the BrahMos supersonic cruise missile has successfully tested its propulsion system, airframe, power supply and other main indigenous components. BrahMos is a cooperative venture between India's Defense Research and Development Organization (DRDO) and Russia's National Propulsion Organization (NPOM). The rivers Brahmaputra and Moskva are named BrahMos. It's a two-stage air-to-surface missile with a range of roughly 300 kilometers. However, India's entrance into the missile technology control regime has increased the BrahMos missile range to 450 to 600 kilometers, a little increase above the present MTCR capped range of 300 kilometers. With a weight of 2.5 tons, BrahMos is the largest weapon ever deployed aboard a Su-30 MKI fighter plane. BrahMos is a multi-platform, multi-capability missile that can be launched from land, air and sea. It has pinpoint accuracy and can be used at any time of day or night, regardless of weather conditions. It works on the fire and forget principle, which means it doesn't need any additional instructions after it's launched. BrahMos is one of the fastest cruise missiles in service today, with a top speed of Mach 2.8 or 3 times the speed of sound. So the source of this news is The Hindu of 12th January 2022, page number 10. So thanks a lot for watching the analysis video. Have a nice day.